So, over the years that we've been playing with you, we've offered many analogies to help you understand that you are more than you see here in these physical bodies. We tell you that you are the creator of your own reality. Seth coined those phrases years ago. You get that? You are the creator of your own reality because you are the perceiver of your own experience. Therefore, you are the offer of your own vibration. Therefore, you are the creator of your own point of attraction. Therefore, law of attraction is answering every vibration that you're offering. Therefore, you get what you think about whether you want it or not. How about that? Well, that sounds easy enough, doesn't it? I get what I think about. I get what I think about. Ooh, look over there. That's not too good. Oh, don't want to think about that. Cancel. You say, don't want law of attraction to get hold of that one. But as you give your attention to whatever you give your attention to, don't worry about it. You're getting guidance that lets you know right here, right now, whether you're in alignment with who you really are and all that you want. There are 3 steps to the creative process. The first step is you have to ask. And the contrast that surrounds you causes you to do that all day, every day. You are launching those rockets of request, those rockets of desire all day, every day. The second step is source answers what you ask. We wrote a book a few years ago, best title ever, Ask and It Is Given. And that's what it's talking about. When you ask, the vibrational equivalent of what you've asked for forms. And you say, well, whoop-de-doo. There's a virtual bank account out there somewhere for me. And a virtual lover. Not that satisfying. But that's where step 3 comes in. Step 3 is you must be a vibrational match to what you've asked for. And you can't focus on the absence of what you want and be a vibrational match to the presence of what you want. And so if you're doing it with your thought, in other words, if you're evaluating all of the things in the world that you might think about and making a list, don't think about those things, don't think about those things, you're thinking about those things that you don't want to think about. That thing that you don't want to think about, you're thinking about while you're not wanting to think about it. And while you're thinking about it, you're offering a vibration about it. So law of attraction is bringing more of it to you. Now you're thinking about it more, aren't you? So when you're thinking about that thing you don't want to think about, you are launching rockets about what you do want. So if we were standing in your physical shoes, rather than paying so much attention to what we are thinking about, we would make our top priority be, how am I feeling? How am I feeling? I want to feel good. Today, no matter where I'm going, no matter what I'm doing, no matter who I'm doing it with, it is my dominant intent to look for things that when I focus upon them, I feel good. Because that means you're in alignment with who you are. So what does that mean? When you're in alignment with all of the expansion that is you, that is in the vortex, where all cooperative components to all things that you want have been gathered vibrationally, waiting in the wings, ready to explode into your experience in perfect timing. So if you will focus upon what you're doing with your grid, which means how am I feeling right here and now? If you will look for the easiest possible thing that you can find to feel good about and focus upon it and use that as your reason to establish your vibrational point of attraction, what you're going to begin to notice, you are already, is that your grid, who you are, where you stand, your manifestation. So what's the grid? The grid is your point of attraction. It's your perception of the world. It's your reality. It's your fleshed out, filled in reality. It's what you're seeing and hearing and smelling and tasting and touching. It's the reality that you are observing through your physical senses. You're so good at being a vibrational being, you don't even know you are one. What you translate through your nose is a vibrational interpretation. Do you get that? What you see with your eyes is a vibrational interpretation. What you hear and taste and feel with your fingertips, vibrational interpretations. So that grid will fill in with things that you can hear and see and smell and taste and touch. The grid filling in. Once you have established the grid that matches the vortex, life really becomes sweet. So when you think about it, you get it that conceptually it is possible that there is a vibrational version of all things you want lurking in the wings, waiting for you to achieve vibrational alignment with it. Does that make sense to you? And when you establish a vibrational frequency that matches it, the grid begins to fill in. The first thing that happens is you feel an emotion. Now that's really an important thing to understand. The emotion that you feel is the first phase of that grid filling in. You get to feel it. The next thing that happens is you begin getting thoughts. Thoughts begin to flow into your mind. Ideas that feel exciting when you feel them. Impulses begin to come. I think I'll go there. I didn't plan it. I didn't plan to stop off there to meet the love of my life because I had no idea that he was there. The vortex knew. Source energy knew. My inner being knew. Everyone who is aware of vibration knew. But I didn't know. Because I'd been beating the drum of loneliness, so I didn't know. But I focused upon something other than that subject that makes me feel lonely and drags me away from my vortex and holds me in vibrational alignment with something other than what I really want. I was focusing upon those unwanted things until I began focusing upon something that was easy to feel good about, something completely unrelated to anything that's really important to me. I wasn't worried about money. I wasn't worried about my lover coming. I wasn't worried about the economy. I wasn't worried about politics. I wasn't worried about anything. I was just focused upon something that sort of blissed me out in the moment, some really general, central to who I really am thought, got myself feeling really good, and then I got an impulse. Think I'll stop by here. Don't know why, just got the impulse. The grid is filling in, you see. The grid is filling in. You know how you don't want to eat all the food that you will eat for the rest of this physical life today? You want some of it, but not all of it. Well, you don't want everything that's in your vortex to fill in today either. You just want the perfect pieces at the perfect time. You just want, through the path of least resistance, the pieces of it. You want it to come in a steady stream. You want it to come effortlessly. You want it to come willingly. You want it to come consistently. But most of all, and this is our favorite part of a gathering like this, you want to be consciously aware that you have established a vibrational pattern that is allowing it to flow in. You know that you are more than you see here in these physical bodies. You are vibration. You are consciousness. You are eternal beings. You have come here to cause expansion of the universe. You can't help that, but your purpose, the reason you've come is for the joy of the expansion. Because it's expanding whether you're up to speed with it or not. You're sifting through the contrast and you're putting things in your vortex, and the vortex is causing an expansion of this universe. You just have a choice of keeping up with it or not. And the more you keep up with it, the better you feel. And the less you keep up with it, the worse you feel. So, now you know everything that we know that is important. And now it's just about practicing. So, be gone. No. So what if you've got a habit? So what if that's the way things have been? So what if that's even the way they've usually been? So what? If your desire is different from that, let the way you feel trump it. In other words, mean more than that. So when you say, I care more about how I feel than about a manifestation this red hot minute, now you've got it figured out. If you mean it. If you mean it. Sometimes it's helpful to have a significant enough thing occur that when you look at it, you just can't stand it to make you decide or determined that you're going to look somewhere else. In other words, most humans, we love you very much, but if there is something that you do often that we would prefer you not do so often for your own good, it is that you examine what is with such fervor that you slow down what you've asked for and you don't let it come. Your awareness of what is mostly what's active in your vibration. So you either got to be a really good sifter where you're just looking for things to appreciate in what is, or you've got to be a better visualizer so that you're imagining more of what you want, or a really good meditator where you quiet your mind to deactivate, but you have to do something to slow that momentum. Because law of attraction is going to keep it going. Your vibration is where you last left it on every subject, you see. So unless you decide to do something different with it, it's going to carry on. The thing that we want to shine the spotlight on for you is don't try to fill in your own grid quite so much. And we're giving that to you softly, to all of you, because we know you live in a world where you got stuff you got to do. It's important that you feed your family. See them at the table, children? Just fill in your own grid. There's no food in the house, but fill in your own grid. You might get a little hungry if you all of a sudden withdraw action or behavior from the equation, and that's not what we're encouraging you to do. But we're encouraging you to put more emphasis on the grid, what you want and why you want it, how you feel. More emphasis on the general, how it feels in the seminars, how it feels to offer a piece to someone, the piece that they're looking for. To recognize that it is not one missing piece that everyone is looking for, it's a missing piece for everyone, and the piece keeps shifting for every person in every moment of every day. Because the piece you're looking for isn't the same piece day after day after day after day. And the important thing is, it isn't missing. It's not missing. There is no missing piece. There's only the perspective of a missing piece. And the perspective of the missing piece will keep you from finding that piece, and then that piece, and then that piece, and then that piece, and that piece. But those pieces are all lined up. Oh, you should see the pieces in the vortex. The cooperative pieces in the vortex. They're there. They're ready. The question is, are you? And the answer is maybe and maybe not. So the next question is, well, how can you get ready? And the answer to that is, stop trying so hard to be ready. Stop trying so hard to be ready and accept that you're ready. Accept that you have all the tools right here and now. Because right here and now, you have the ability to stop doing that thing you do that is preventing you from seeing the pieces. And what's that thing you do that's stopping you from seeing the pieces? It's keeping something active that keeps you from seeing the pieces. So what's the answer? Always the same. Just slow it down. Do you believe, we're asking all of you this, do you believe that you came into this experience with purpose? And do you believe that you have been effectively, perfectly carving out those desires one by one, or 10 by 10, or 100 by 100? Do you believe that you've been doing that you've been fulfilling your purpose of discovery? And do you believe that you have been setting forth these vibrational requests, and that they do exist in vibrational form, readying themselves for your readying of yourself? Ooh. Readying themselves for your readying of yourself. Do you believe that? It's logical. So if all of that is true, then isn't it just the most logical thing in the world that this that you've been asking for, which is ready to flow to you when you're ready. It's not going to come before you're ready, because it wouldn't be right if it came before you're ready, because your readiness is a component of it. So isn't it logical that if you could just cease doing the things that prevent your readiness, that you'd be ready? Now that's a new way of looking at it. Stop doing the things that keep you from being ready, and you'll be ready. So what are those things that you're doing that are keeping you from being ready? Noticing you're not ready. Noticing that it hasn't happened. Comparing yourself to others. Trying to find a missing piece when there's no such thing as a missing piece. Don't you want to just move through your day and allow your grid to fill in, fill in, fill in, fill in, fill in? Wouldn't it just be nice as you move through your day that the next logical step would just occur, and that you would revel in it as it comes? Wouldn't you like to stop comparing where you stand to this long-range goal? And wouldn't you like to stop beating up on yourself for not being further down the road? Wouldn't you like to revel in where you stand right here and now? These are the things that you're wanting to do. So bask more, meditate more, chill more. There is no missing piece. You just don't know where it is.
Right.
And the reason you don't know where it is because you're looking where it isn't. And the reason you're looking where it isn't is because you're looking through eyes of vulnerability. You're looking through eyes of not enoughness. You're looking through eyes of lack. You're looking too specifically. And then ask them, has inspiration ever come to them? And what were the circumstances? And let them tell you their stories of, I was just walking, wasn't thinking about anything, and this idea just came to me. On and on and on the stories will come. My dog licked my face, and in the middle of the lick I had knowledge of the workings of the universe. You get the idea. Good enough?
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you.